Regular City Council meeting to order Tuesday, November 3rd. Would you please stand and join me in the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd like to welcome everybody in the chamber this morning, and I see the representative from the Sentinels here, and particularly you people that are watching over television, or wherever you may be in our council meeting today. Dev, could we call a roll call?
Nelson?
Yes.
Knapp?
Yes.
Conlon?
Here.
Goodchild?
Yes.
Wick?
Yes. Motion to approve the agenda.
Motion made to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Today we have two hearings. One's on the dog park improvement project, and the other one's on the mobile food vendors ordinance. The first one is on the dog park improvement project. At the October 20th, 2020 meeting, the council set this as a date and time to hear public comments on plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost for the 2020 dog park improvement project. The dog park will be constructed adjacent to the pond behind Walmart or across from the Wings REC area. Grading was completed as part of the 2020 industrial grading project. The recommendation is at this time I'm going to open the hearing and ask if there's any written or oral objections or comments to this project. I will once again ask if there's any open the hearing and ask if there's any written or oral objections or comments to the project or to adopt any of the plans or specifications. Hearing or seeing none, I'm going to close the hearing at this time. The administration recommends approval by council to proceed with the following schedule. Receive bids November 24th, 2020 at 3 p.m. Award the contract December 1st, 2020, and the late start would be May 1st, 2021. The completion date is set at June 30th of the year 2021. The financial side of the business is the estimated bid is at $86,000. I think you've all seen the bids in your packet over the weekend, and
Nothing, not on this one. On that one?
say what?
The estimate for the bids. Yeah, the estimate was it.
Yeah, the estimate for the bids, yeah. So at this time, if there's any questions, I'd certainly entertain them.
I'll just say that.
Go ahead, Jason.
I'll just say this because I didn't put it in here. This is a CBP2 project.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The diagrams you have in here look small, but when you go out to the site, it's quite a large area.
Yeah, I didn't include that. I guess I didn't write it down here, but I had those square footages and I can't pull. I don't know what they are.
It's almost an acre, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I had it broken down into the small dog park side and the large dog park side, but I think it was a 4,000 square foot compared to a 3,000 something.
It's a nice size anyhow.
Anyway, we are moving ahead on the project, and haven't forgotten people that we're going to have a dog park. So, any other questions?
Motion to adopt resolution 2040 on plan specification, forms of contract, estimates of cost for the 2020 dog park improvement project.
I'll second that. Motion made and second to approve the first reading of the ordinance number 961 to amend the Lamar's Code of Ordinances by adding the chapter.
961.
2040.
Oh, I'm sorry, got the wrong one.
You're going to the
Back
next
up.
one already. Yeah.
Motion to adopt Resolution 20-40 on plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost for the 2020 Dog Park Improvement Project. Do we have a roll call on that, Bev?
Knapp,
Yes.
Child,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Conlon.
Yes.
Motion carried. The second hearing has to do with the mobile food vendor ordinance. At the October 20th, 2020 meeting, the council set this as a date and time to hear public comments regarding amending the Lamar's Code of Ordinances by adding new Chapter 126 mobile food vendors. The new chapter will regulate food trucks on public property only. The proposed process would require an application and fee be submitted before operating on public property. The attached ordinance has been updated from the last meeting and has been reviewed by the fire chief. Recommendation is this time I'm going to open the hearing and ask if there's any written or oral objections or comments to the proposed ordinance. I will once again ask if there are any written or oral objections or comments to this proposed ordinance. Hearing or seeing none, I'm going to close the hearing at this time.
Jason has something.
The administration recommends the council approval on this if they so desire.
We all good, Jason, on this?
I was just going to say, I did put in here, it's been updated, and what was updated is throughout the entire ordinance as it's written, every place that it said license was changed to permit. 12602, number 3, what was added? I don't know what was added there.
You call on that,
I'll have to
Greg?
find out. 12602. Oh, yeah, I was looking at the wrong section. Number 3. In 12602, number 3, permits are location specific. Multiple locations will require additional permits. That just lets us keep a better handle on where they're being located. We don't want them to get an annual license and then one week they're here and the next week they're here and that next location causes an issue. It's just so you get a permit, we know where you're at, okay? 12604, that section is called locations. The old one, and I think Matt Lancaster brought it up when he was here last time, the trouble with us saying food and beverages as far as the 75 feet from the main entrance of an establishment that sells prepared food and beverages was an issue, particularly in their instance, because that's all they do is sell beverages. So the word beverages was taken out. So it's an establishment that sells food. So those are the changes. I also Dave did look at it, I think with Greg, as far as nothing changed in the ordinance after that review, but there was a change to the actual application, which is included in here also, to where there's an inspection that'll be done by the fire department prior to the issuance of the permit. So,
Any questions?
I am a little curious. I was gone last meeting, so we've never allowed them on public property before. It's always been on private property, so why the change? I mean, I I know that I brought it up 6 months ago due to a couple phone calls, at which time I was informed it's only on, private property, and that's the way it was. So I am kind of curious why the change.
I think we had some food trucks that were on public property.
Okay.
Isn't that the easy answer?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
so there
Okay.
was an instance that came up. I mean, so kind of forced us to kind of re-look at.
Okay.
Another section in the ordinance, it's not this chapter, but there's another chapter that kind of throws a blanket over all business purposes are supposedly not supposed to happen on city property. But there was an instance that came up. So we looked at the whole thing and thought, well, if we have some kind of regulation and say where they can and cannot be,
It's fine.
if
was
there's
just
no
curious
issues, there should be no reason we couldn't allow it.
It's fine. That's fine.
And Clark, I think we've talked to the ones that have been here and are here, and they're in a complete agreement with the new ordinance.
What's the fee structure going to be?
I think it was,
I know it's minimal, and that's,
is it on that application?
100
I
for a
think
year,
120.
$20 for
And then
20 per event, 100 for the
for
year.
a year.
a year.
But the 100 for a year would still require the same location. I mean, if they're saying, we'll pay the 100, but we're always going to be at X spot.
Yeah, if they're going to be at a specific place, if they have a deal with somebody, typically when they come to town, they get permission from somebody,
Yeah,
okay?
That's fine.
And if they have an agreement, hey, we'll be here every Wednesday night. So they get an application or an annual one that says, hey, we're going to be here every Wednesday at this spot.
sounds good.
And then if they get another deal with somebody that says they want us here every Friday, well, then get another annual permit that allows you to be at that spot.
Sure.
Does that answer your question,
Yeah,
Clark?
absolutely, no problem.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance number
2041.
961.
961 to amend the Lamar's Code of Ordinances by adding new chapter 126, mobile food vendors.
Is there a second?
So moved.
Motion made and second to approve the first reading of ordinance number 961 to amend the Lamar's Code of Ordinances by adding a new chapter 126, mobile food vendors. Do we have a roll call on that, Bev?
Goodchild.
Yes.
Donlin.
Yes.
Knapp.
Yes.
Wick.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Motion carried. Moving on to the general discussion. And the way we handle our general discussion is that if anybody has concerns or complaints or anything to good to say about the city, we ask them to stand up to the podium and state their name and address. And the council cannot act on them today, but they are always willingly, certainly, to listen to the complaints or concerns and act on them later. So at this time, it's open for discussion. Does anybody have any concerns or complaints? Hearing or seeing none, I'll ask once again. It's open for discussion. Anybody want any concerns or complaints or compliments? Hearing or seeing none, we'll move on to the the thumbs up award. Mike?
I'm tempted to offer a thumbs up award to everyone, especially those eligible to vote in the city, but everyone who can sigh a little bit of relief today as a lot of the muss and fuss of election time is going to subside. I don't think it's going to resolve necessarily, but nice to see Rex still has his sticker on that he voted, and many of us voted early. But thumbs up, your folio voted, and congrats for the citizenship angle of this thing. That's still a good thing. It seems to have had a little bit more of a stress component than other times in my memory. But thumbs up to have weathered through it, and now we've still got other things to worry about, like wearing our masks and stuff. But that's all I have. Well,
Okay. Thank you, Mike. Clark?
Yeah, I've thought a little bit long and hard about this one, and I don't want to embarrass anybody, but a few weeks ago I was gone 2 weeks ago I was on the phone, so I just passed, but a few weeks ago we talked about the city employees. And I really want to stress our city employees. I don't know that we have a bad department. We have a lot of good managers, but they're all managed by one guy who took over a couple years ago. Very difficult situations. Moved into the job in extremely difficult times and has done a phenomenal job. I want to give thumbs up to Jason. Him and I don't always see eye to eye, and we probably never will, but that's okay. That's okay. I really want to say that, Jason, you're doing one heck of a good job.
Thanks, Clark.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you, Clark, and you certainly emphasized it and pointed to the right man and hit it right on the head. We had a Kiwanis meeting this morning, and Jason was the keynote speaker at the Kiwanis meeting this morning, and we shared the same thoughts at the meeting. He's done a tremendous job. I particularly have the opportunity to work with him day in and day out, and I tell you what, you just can't believe how he's doing, and endless, tireless hours is what he's putting into this city, is what he's doing.
and my wife wasn't even at Kiwanis this morning, so I didn't know that.
No, yeah.
Noted.
Rex?
Well, see, I used my get out of jail card with the city employees last time, so I've already said the positive on them. So I'm going to go back to the vote. We are very blessed in this country that we can vote and actually have our votes matter. It still is a democracy. Doesn't mean that you're going to like the outcome, but we do have a democracy. We have it all the time. What's tremendous about this year is, I think, Dennis will tell me, I think we have 2.1 million eligible in Iowa to vote. Is that right, Dennis? And I think we're going to probably get 1.9 million to vote today. 90%. We're going to set all-time records in Iowa, which is, all-time means even Dick and my lifetime, all-time record. Vote. So that's a long time.
Sure,
and
glad
probably all the way until we pass away, we won't have these kind of vote totals. We actually have 2 races that may come down to the last 100 votes. And we have, because I know quite a few of them, the best poll workers, the nicest people. They'll work there all day, all night. 9 o'clock they close down, but if you're in line, you still get to vote. That doesn't happen in many places. It doesn't happen in very many countries, and you shouldn't take it for granted. God bless the USA. That's what I think.
Thank you very kindly. Incidentally, the voting is at 7 this morning till, I believe, 8 tonight. Oh, I'm sorry, 9 tonight. And am I reading right? I thought, is that the lower level, Lamar's Convention Center?
That's for the city.
That's-
There are different places.
Because that,
The
yeah,
courthouse, if you're outside the city, there's other places out in the county.
yeah,
You guys can figure it out.
because I got confused when I read, I looked at Clem's site this morning, and I was a little confused on it, but that's where it's at for the city. It's at the Lamar's Convention Center, lower level, right?
Yep, and it's worth your effort to get up out of your chair if you're listening to us on TV and go vote. It's the privilege you have in this country that many countries don't enjoy.
And just in case you didn't hear it at home, I just want to reiterate it, that it's time to go vote. The day's here. Ken?
I'll pass today, thank you.
Steve?
Don't forget to vote. And thumbs up to Lamar's Galen volleyball team, who's going to be playing tonight in the volleyball state tournament down at Cedar Rapids. So good luck to them.
You bet. Okay, thank you. Moving on to the consent items. All items listed under the consent agenda will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion on those items unless the request is made prior to the time the council votes on the motion. Today, we've only got 3 of them. Number 1 is approval of the October 20th, 2020 regular meeting minutes. Number 2 is a list of bills for the period ending 10/31/20. And number 3 is Bruce and Terry Brock's addition. Anybody has any questions before we vote on this?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to offer to Bruce, since he's here. How did it come to be that it's the Bruce and Terry Brock edition and not the Terry and Bruce Brock edition?
Hey, Bruce, is he getting too personal?
I withdraw the question.
Any questions? Anybody?
Motion to approve the consent items 1 through 3 with number 320-41.
Okay, motion been made. Is there a second?
Yes.
Motion been made and second to approve the consent items 1 through 3. All those in favor say aye.
Need a roll call.
Roll call on the third one.
Oh, you're right, I'm sorry. We gotta have a, yeah.
Knapp,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Goodchild,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Donlin.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, moving on to the action items. And the first one on the action item is the 2020 Cleveland Park Restroom Improvement Project. The council set this as the date to consider the bids received for the 2020 Cleveland Park Restroom Project. Bids were received and opened Thursday, October 29th, 2020 at 10 a.m. The bid results are attached. This is the one I was talking about before. The recommendation is that the administration recommends the council award to the lowest bidder. The financial impact is the project estimate was $90,000, and the project is to be paid out of the public facility improvements. So any questions, we'd certainly consider.
I'll chime in.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, so you see there's three bids received. You see the wide range in pricing. We actually, when we opened them, we actually started